We failed? What do you mean, we failed?
The deadline was a deadline.
A
Please,
deadline.
Professor Fell, I can't fail. There has to be something we can do.
Perhaps. A very important creature recently escaped into the mystical archives. Retrieve it for me by noon, and I'll reconsider.
You won't regret this, Professor Fell.
Is it dangerous?
Chop chop.
We don't have long. We better... Huh?
That's the creature?
I got this. For Lord!
Whoops.
Don't let them get away!
I got it. Wait. No, I don't.
Everyone, come on!
We're running out of time. Fortune favors the bold.
Go! Hold on!
Gotcha. Field trip's over. It's now or never.
Ah, you're just in time. Good. I do hate a late lunch. Congratulations. You didn't disappoint me. Now for your next assignment.
Hey everyone, we are streaming.
I've always seen myself a student and a scholar of Magic the Gathering,
Who is this?
and so I feel right
my
at home
God.
in the halls of Strixhaven. Today I will be
It's the
speaking
Mystic
with folks
Study.
from
Oh my
Wizards of the Coast
gosh.
who worked on this set to learn more about this school and our second visit to its campus. Welcome to Secrets of Strixhaven.
Okay, we are going back to Strixhaven for Secrets of Strixhaven. I have a million questions. I guess the simplest thing to ask is what's going on?
Well, we are returning to the plane of Arcavios. This was really a chance for us to dive into everything that's happened to this plane since the last time we were here in Strixhaven School of Mages. What's happened since the last time we were here, the previously on Strixhaven?
The biggest event was the Phyrexian invasion in March of the Machine.
The Phyrexians invaded the multiverse, which included Arcavios and Strixhaven.
Biblioplex was destroyed, there were a number of casualties.
The deaths of many professors and some students.
You really feel and see the scars of the invasion across Strixhaven and Arcavios.
From the very beginning, a lot of what's going on with the Return to set is what are we doing the same as last time and what are we doing different from last time?
The main question you really always have to start with is, what do people love about this setting? What do we want to see again? What do we need to take forward because it's so core and foundational?
You want there to be a lot of new things, but you also want there to be all that fan favorite stuff that you're delivering on again. Something very honest and true to the original.
You know, we're always iterating, we're always looking for a new way to approach something, to like get our fans excited.
The original Strixhaven School of Mages was so much about each of the colleges, giving each of the colleges an identity and making players feel what they were each about.
Prismari is our artistic school.
They are the art students.
Big, flashy magic. It's very colorful. It's very lively.
You never want to miss a performance by the Prismari.
Lorehold, they have this very fighting, adventuring archaeologist vibe.
Outgoing and athletic and really want to venture out into the field.
Quandrix are the math geeks.
They are the sort of brilliant geniuses.
Math gets to really shine.
It's all about fractals and equations and exploring mathematics in the realm of magic.
Silverquill.
They are the College of Eloquence. They're highly competitive. They're very linguistic. They have large vocabularies.
Silverquill is all about influence. They're very confident, a little arrogant. They're going to get their way.
Witherbloom.
We call them our goth punk students.
They're not afraid to get dirty, you know.
They are fiercely protective of the natural world. Very much a celebration of the full cycle of life and death.
People really resonated with it the first time around. The first Strixhaven School of Mages was really Gen Ed. This is, 201. We're trying to, go a little deeper. A lot of awesome, cool things to discover.
And I think really the best way is to show you some of what's going on here.
Show, don't tell.
So,
give me the cards.
Let's start with the dragons are back.
Beautiful.
We definitely couldn't return to Strixhaven without having the 5 Elder Dragons.
Everyone loves dragons. It's kind of hard to find someone, especially a Magic player, who's like, I don't like dragons.
You can't have a Magic set I worked on without some dragons in it.
The fact that Strixhaven was started by these 5 Elder Dragons is one of my favorite parts of the story.
They came together and said, we want to create the best mystical university known to man.
They're each unique in their approaches to their scholarly pursuits, which is why their colleges are so different, and the magic of each college is so different, but unique also in the way that their anatomy is dragons look, which is always really fun.
They're powerful dragons. They need to be more powerful than anyone else that we're going to be seeing on this plane.
They've got some really awesome abilities, really iconic designs, and just are a lot of fun.
Do you have a favorite?
Don't make me choose.
I know, but I'm trying to.
I think Lorehold's pretty awesome.
I agree.
So every single time we do a return to set, we like to poll our players, like, what do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? And what we heard loud and clear is people want to know what's going on in Arcadia. So it was really important for us to get outside of just the university itself.
We wanted to zoom the camera out a little bit and show off more of the world.
Expand the boundaries and go beyond just the school campus itself into Arcavios.
Last time, we really stayed on the college campus, and so for this set, we've actually developed 5 brand new field locations where our students go out and study the real world.
5 different research locations that the students go to that are really themed around the core ideas of the schools.
Befitting of the school's identity.
Being outside of the safety of the school, which especially in a world where spells and archaics exist, things can get dangerous very, very quickly.
If I'm a Lorehold student and I love history, what is my road, what is my field trip? Where am I going?
Well, the Lorehold location for this set is called the Fields of Strife, and it is an endless...
What delightful, wow, what a wonderful, what a wonderful outing.
I don't know if you knew, but Arcavios had a
Field of
Strife. They were at war for
My
about
gosh.
700 years. The Fields of Strife are one of the locations of these epic ancient battlefields. Layers upon layers of warriors and spirits fighting each other, and the strange magic that pervades the location means that
Come on, Lance, give us Lance.
disappear.
Come on, Lance.
And so the students go there for
Hey,
a
everybody.
very first-hand
Give us
account
Lance.
of what happened during these battles.
Give us
One of the
Lance.
dangers is that strange magic
Hello, everybody
of the
watching.
location can sometimes affect you, and every so often a student gets lost to the battlefield.
It's really the cast of characters for me. We brought back these characters because fans wanted to see what they're up to. A lot has happened on Strixhaven since the original. What are they up to now?
I think a lot of our players are going to be able to find themselves in these characters and really relate to their lived experiences. I love the fact that there's 5 different colleges and that you kind of get to
Lance,
choose
give
and
us
find
a
your own
Lance.
identity. Figuring out
Give
your
us a
own
Lance.
self-expression. It's kind of our coming-of-age magic set where you kind of explore what does it mean to be a young adult? Who are you? What do you want to do with the world? What are your aspirations and what are your dreams?
Each of them kind of represents a slightly different archetype from within the school. school.
You have characters like Killian and Rutha. They were sophomores in the original timeline. They were just draft uncommons then, but they've elevated up to now commander-sized in the leads of the commander decks.
We get to see where they are in their journey now. How have they changed as they go from being young adults into the real world?
So Ral's Eric is back, and he has a new
Ral,
color identity.
Ral. Let's go, Ral.
Ral's Eric is here as a
Oh,
professor. And we all know Ral, the famous Orzhov lawyer.
He's in the school that you would expect. Silverquill.
He's been invited by the faculty at Silverquill to be a guest speaker and a guest lecturer. And he's also here kind of part of that continuation of his investigations that he was doing way back in Bloomborough. There will be a side story that focuses on him.
This was a really fun thing that we decided to do. I can't say too much about it, but I think our fans are really going to enjoy it.
And you'll notice one of some of the other cards that are going around. We have the mascots.
Okay.
Last time we had the mascots in each school. This time, instead of only being on token cards, we put them on a few creature cards as well. So the mascots are representative in many ways of each of the schools. I kind of think of them as a little bit somewhere between a familiar and like a summon. Kind of depends a little bit on the school. Witherbloom might be my favorite mascots. They're the pests, and they are less familiars. They're not summoned. Witherbloom students use pests as ingredients and life essence for their spells, but sometimes they might grow a little attached to them. They are pests in part because they are a little bit of a nuisance, and they have been known to be a valid excuse for the pest ate your homework. The pests are the best ones.
The pests are the best.
The pests are the best. Do you agree with me?
Okay. No, the pests are sweet this time around.
Hello,
They
hello.
elevated their
Hello,
animal
Autopacker.
shapes now.
Good
you know,
evening.
Inklings used to be a little
They
blot.
still
Now
have
they're-
those weird
Thank you
mouths,
for
though. It's like little lamprey faces.
thank you for passing
I see
by.
there's a favorite, clearly. Okay, that's fine. I thought Spirit Ox might be in contention.
Spirit
but
Ox is pretty good too.
That feels very
Spirit
heroic,
Ox.
You know?
Had a lot of
Jesus
fun
Christ.
making them even more playable, putting those extra types on the cards, but also really giving some more character, especially now that they're on their own creature cards, to each of these types of mascots. How do you feel about Exponent?
Hello, Ashtakun.
I
Thank you
feel
for joining the
exponentially
stream.
awful
Hello.
the longer I
Thank you
look
for
at a card like
joining.
this.
Mathemagic.
The cards are
self-indulgence
amazing.
through and through.
We had a lot of conversations. Do we really want to expect
like
players to know
and
what
follow
2 to
would
the
be
5th
great.
is?
Thank you so
Math
much.
is pretty exciting. It's one of those things that comes up in
Mathema-
development, and you're like,
I was looking at
"Ah,
this
could
card
be
a while
fun
ago.
joke,"
I'm
and then it stays
for
in the file,
sure
and it
this
stays
is
in the
only.
file, and at some point you have to have a conversation with everyone. You're like, "Are
This
we
is
actually
like
keeping
it
this
will
in
only
the
draw
set?"
you
I haven't
two
noticed a lot
at
of
most
game design
for.
are exponentially happy about Exponent. I think this card stayed basically the same.
Yeah,
I don't-
honestly,
I-
from like
I don't
the
like
magic
it.
conception, it stayed the same.
It's not an
Even the
instant.
name
If this
of
was
the
an
card,
instant, it was
which
a strong.
kind of
It would be a
incredible. I was
stronger
really
card.
Excited to see
If
people's
that was an
responses.
instant.
It's just really cool and bombastic. You can draw so many cards, or make your opponent draw
It
a
is-
lot of cards.
Essentially.
Jamie, I think you know the answer to this. If I spend 10 for X, how many cards does target player me draw?
Oh, so you're asking what 2 to the 10th is, which is, as everyone knows, 1,024.
Well, I did my homework before I sat down with you all, and I happen to know that if you spend 100 mana,
Nerds.
you draw
They're nerding out.
562 trillion cards.
Strongly suggest that you do not draw those cards.
I target you. That's true. It says say target player.
As Magic grows and expands as a game, we get the opportunity to take kind of risks like this, and it's something that I
I
hope fans
actually really
enjoy.
appreciate
People
that
read
they're
it and they either
putting
love it or
a
hate it.
lot of
I love
ladies
that.
into these.
There's a pair of cards that
because
I
they
personally really
need the
love. This was an
representation,
early
and they are
development
really
playtest name that
adding
game
to
design
what
put in, and we were
Strixhaven
just like,
is.
this is perfect. It's called Procrastinate, and it's just literally the art is this little frog, and he's asleep, and he's procrastinating on his
Oh
homework.
my god,
Procrastinate is
procrastinating.
one of my favorite cards. So just reminiscent of things I thought about so much in school.
I really love cards like this because it basically allows you to take a real world concept and then think, what would this look like translated into a Magic card?
Another example of a card name that stuck around from the beginning of the file because it was so
Beginning of
perfect
the file.
for the idea of putting stun counters
Files.
on the creature. I really love
Jesus.
that we get these little, I would say relatable
moments.
Relatable moments, yeah. Who amongst us?
Stress Dream also resonates a lot, but it really takes me back to school days and just a different era of my life.
Have you ever had a stress dream?
Yeah, I felt a little personally attacked when I saw these cards in the file. It's a little bit too close to home.
I
Bro,
thought I could
stun
come to
counters.
Magic to
Yes,
get away from
sir.
the horrors of grad school, and yet
Blue
stress
removal.
dream and procrastinate.
Autopacker.
that the
Blue
horrors
removal.
They persist, yeah. But persist is not a mechanic, right? No. Very well, okay.
The artwork though. Jeez.
All right, JD, the only thing better than talking about Magic cards is playing Magic cards. Draw my card for turn. I'll play Basic Island, and I'm going to cast Landscape Painter. This is a card that looks like the dragon cards, but it's not. It has the word prepare on it. Can you please teach me how to play with this card?
Yes, you have found a prepared creature.
Prepare
is one of our new mechanics. It is a mechanic that lets your creature cast a spell.
Prepare is awesome. I am so excited about this one. It's the type of mechanic that once you see it, you're really surprised that we haven't done it before.
It is a mechanic that isn't college specific. It is just everywhere in Strixhaven.
Creatures can enter prepared, and then they get to cast instants and sorceries.
And one of the really fun things about this is we were able to choose a lot of iconic spells through Magic's history, and so you get to have that feeling of casting these spells, some of which a lot of players have never cast before.
Emeritus of Ideation is an awesome blue creature.
The Emeritus cycle, casting really famous spells from Magic. Emeritus of Ideation, cast Ancestral Recall.
What is cooler than being able to cast something like Ancestral Recall?
I've certainly never cast it in my life.
Maybe the most powerful instant ever made.
Our headliner for this set features art by Mark, who's actually the original artist for Ancestral Recall, so it's really exciting to be able to have him come back.
Working with Mark Poole is always an absolute treat. He's just a delight to work with every time.
Seeing Ancestral Recall on a card is I don't know, it just brings back memories.
I've been playing Magic a long time, and before we were working on that card, I had never cast Ancestral Recall. And let me say, wow.
Grave Researcher is an awesome card.
Reanimate.
Creature that gets to prepare Reanimate. One of the most iconic Magic cards of all time. I mean, we call these decks reanimation decks.
Joined Researchers is one of my favorite examples of a prepared card because it's a callback to Secret Rendezvous, which was a card in the original Strixhaven set, which featured these two characters from different schools meeting surreptitiously with each other, sharing information, and I just always loved that card so much.
Biblioplex Tomekeeper is one of these cards that gets to have a little fun with the prepare mechanic. A lot of these prepare creatures enter prepared, but maybe don't have a way to re-prepare themselves, but we wanted to come up with something that allowed you to re-prepare some of your creatures, and we thought it was fun to have some counterplay so you can unprepare something too.
Paradigm is the other mechanic in the set that isn't tied to any specific faction.
Paradigm was a way for us to really express that this is a set about instants and sorceries.
It features on these thesis type cards, and the idea is that it shows you an encapsulation of what it looks like at the end of your study at Strixhaven. What is your big final magical spell?
So for example, with Improvisation Capstone being your final performance, this was a chance for us to really showcase one of the students giving their final graduation performance at Spectacle Summit.
It is a cycle, there's one for each color, and I find these really exciting because once you cast it, you basically get to cast it for free over and over and over again throughout the game.
The colleges, though, are still really important. We decided the best thing to do was to give them each their own mechanic.
So in each of these,
bro,
the
I thought
keywords
Dark
are
Ritual.
really
No, it
getting
wasn't.
to kind of
It wasn't
core
Dark
idea
Rit.
of all of this.
We're still waiting for the red one.
And
The red
also
one is
adds
what we're waiting
accessibility.
for.
Keywords are really nice in draft because they help players kind of path their way into a school.
The Silver Quill mechanic is repartee.
It basically has the idea of you're targeting different creatures and opponents and spells.
So you can think of removal spells that kill your opponent's creatures and trigger your repartee creatures, or you can think of pump spells or combat tricks that boost your own creatures while helping them along the way.
Prismari's all about Opus, so they're trying to cast the biggest, most bombastic spells in this set.
Opus is a trigger on casting an instant or sorcery spell, and you will get something, but you will get something more every time you cast an instant or sorcery spell that you spent 5 or more mana on. So it is an upgrade for casting especially powerful instants and sorceries.
I hope I don't miss
is all
anything.
about gaining life and the idea that once you gain life, you get extra abilities.
Who doesn't love a good life gain theme?
So they have an ability word Infusion, which cares about if you've gained life this turn, and their playstyle really is going to the board with pests and trying to attack, go wide, care about creatures dying, and gain life all the while.
They get better as you gain life.
Lorehold aptly is the one school that has a returning mechanic, Flashback.
We have
which
Flashback.
we just felt was
Flashback is
perfect.
back.
It was really the
Flashback
impetus
is
for why
back.
we wanted to use these mechanics in the first place. We were trying to do graveyard themes for Lorehold, of caring about cards leaving your graveyard, and Flashback just felt like a perfect tool to do that.
Increment is the Quandrix mechanic, the math school, all about numbers. Quandrix creatures with the increment mechanic will grow in size whenever you cast a spell that you spent more mana on than the creature's power or toughness. And you'll keep growing your creature over time as you cast bigger and bigger spells throughout the game.
You know, math is all about adding numbers and just getting as big as you possibly can.
So we have a new planeswalker here, Delian Fell.
Professor Delian Fell, a Witherbloom professor.
He's kind of got that dark, broody energy, a mysterious past. Can you trust him? Can you not?
I really like the Delian Fell card because it's kind of a return to planeswalkers from when we first started designing them.
Planeswalkers are the most powerful beings in the multiverse, and so it's not often that you get to meet a brand new one.
I definitely recommend checking out our main set fiction and learning more about this brand new planeswalker.
The slow lands are such great lands.
Slow lands?
I'm really
Slow
happy
lands?
to have them back.
Slow lands?
Standard cares a lot about
Oh
what the
my
untapped
god,
lands
they're
are
back!
in the format, and for diversity of gameplay, we try and vary it up over time. But the slow lands are really fun ones because they enter untapped as the game progresses instead of as the game begins, which gives power to slower strategies and the game continuing.
Slow lands are
really
back.
happy to get them back here and introduce them to standard again.
Archaics are some of the main antagonists of the set.
I love the Archaics. I'm the kind of player where the bigger a creature is, the more exciting it is.
They are these huge, colorless creatures you'll find out in Arcavios that threaten the land. And they use the converge mechanic and care about the colors of mana spent to cast it and using as many different colors as possible to make them as powerful as possible.
Slow lands are back.
Okay, Daniel, they tell me.
Slow lands are back. All right.
First of all, how many are there?
We got 5. One for each college of Strixhaven. You know, we wanted to get that representation.
We have 5
there, each returning students that you know from original Strixhaven. Yeah, so these are the returning characters. You know, the main set focuses on.
Oh my god, I have to dig my lands.
Over there, but now they're a bit older. They're a
goodness.
little mature in their life. They're doing their final theses. Some are graduating, becoming planeswalkers, and traveling the multiverse. So these 5 decks, I really wanted to approach as if they're a full package.
Commander. Those who love Commander.
Yeah, it's really themed. Like you feel like you're on Strixhaven.
All right.
Coming back, we have the old
Yuto
Commander
Packer.
decks,
We
some
have
old
the
set,
slow
Strixhaven
lands
and
back.
stuff. And then obviously some main set cards you can pop in there.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a few in there.
We also incorporated the school mascots into each of the decks, so the other commander that you'll find in there is themed one for each of the school. They're new designs for the mascots, and it was really fun to create characters around.
Thank God they gave us
very
lands.
Weird and very wonderful.
For me, I'm just really happy we have lands back.
I hear there
That's
might
all
even
that
be an otter
matters.
in one of them. So with Lorehold, for example, it's really nice to theme that deck to what Lorehold is actually doing in the story, and their whole college is about digging up history. So in Commander, it's about pitching to the graveyard. You're trying to get those big creatures into the graveyard, even small creatures for the white-based effects. And then you reanimate them. You get them out of the graveyard, and then Quintorius is going to bring along Spirit Friends as well. I was really inspired by him because his original uncommon card was a really cool effect when something leaves the graveyard and make a 3/2 spirit. It was just kind of rated at a way that wasn't super desirable in Commander. So in the Planeswalker form, I gave him that same ability along with some other ways to fill up your graveyard. But the whole deck, it has a spirit theme as a sub-theme because you're going to make all these 3/2 spirits and then buff them up and just as an anthem, swarm your enemies. Silver Quill Influence. This deck is led by Killian, who people, when they built the uncommon version, I noticed online, were building an Auras deck because the original Killian would reduce the cost of spells that target creatures. So I thought, you know, we could do that here, like an Aura of Influence. You know, that's the creed of Silver Quill. They're a little pushy, they're like politicians, they have a lot of influence. So with his card, he is goading your opponent's creatures with those auras to attack each other. You know, don't come over here,
Oh
attack
my
them.
goodness
And that's how he
gracious.
kind of wins the game. He sneaks in and gains benefit from them beating up each other. Prismari Artistry is a deck built around casting big spells with Rutha as its face. The bigger the spell, the bigger the elemental that comes in. Unlike normal blue-red decks, typically you're trying to build a draw engine, a little ping them down over time. I really want to emphasize the big matters here. If you cast a Blasphemous Act for 9 mana, you're going to get a 9/9 elemental that rushes in and beats the crap out of your opponents. With Witherbloom Pestilence, we had to lean back into the old theme of life gain at least a little to make some of the reprints work within the deck, but thankfully the whole deck is about sacrificing, and the best thing to sacrifice in Witherbloom are the pest tokens, which gain you life, therefore triggering Dina and all the other effects in the deck. So the idea of this deck is to build your army of little pest creatures that you don't super care about, they usually chump block, do whatever, but then you sacrifice them to power up your spells and defeat your opponents. Quandrix Unlimited is led by Zimone, who is all about big numbers. Her original card was mostly ramp and card draw. Here we wanted to make X spells matter. So the bigger the number of X, the bigger the reward, and she'll help you ramp out those effects by reducing the cost. And, X really is the limit in the math school. The bigger the spell, the faster your enemies fall. So there's a cycle of visiting professors here, all monocolor.
Oh.
And they're all casting a very well-known spell, infamous, if you will, as their prepared spell. And my favorite of this cycle is Iganjo Danastorian visiting from my favorite plane, Kamigawa. These professors are coming and teaching these spells. Replenish on the spell is a very famous commander card, and it's going to work in that deck because it's going to bring all your auras back. There's one more in each deck, pretty cheeky things in there. One of them even lets you cast a spell that is not playable currently in Commander. When a player sits down with one of these decks, I really hope that they just have a good time with that college. Like, they get to see what that college is doing. They get to tell a story. The best part about any Commander game is that each player gets to do their thing. And I think there's a lot of fun to be had with these decks.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome when people really resonate and feel like they've found a friend in our characters and, want to build a Commander deck around them and are excited to see them again. So always want to reciprocate on that.
Sarah, I love magic art more than most things in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Replenish.
I bet I could talk to you forever.
They gave us replenish, imagine. My goodness gracious.
Look at
They
these
gave us
super red blue
replenish.
lands, these portal lands.
The borderless portal view lands are a really fun opportunity for us to again showcase that magic that is unique to each of the schools and see beyond into places that may not even exist on Arcavios.
And it's a really interesting dimensionality to show these two locations in one place. And we worked really hard to place the portals in the same place on each land with the same dimensions so that they felt really coherent across the set of 5 of them.
I really encourage fans to take a look through, see what you see on the other side, and maybe in a future set you'll see the completed cycle.
So we have some really beautiful, shiny, basic lands. These highlight students casting their magic in really distinctive styles.
The full art spellcraft lands. I am a real sucker for the mana symbols. I think the kind of dark silhouette in front looks so cool.
And we were really deliberate about the silhouette style so you could tell which school the students are from. And they're casting magic and it's taking the shape of the mana symbols.
It was a great opportunity for us to showcase the school's theme and their magic alongside this epic symbol that the students themselves were conjuring.
With extended art frames, it's a really interesting opportunity. Even just extending the border of the art off the edge of the card makes kind of a big difference. It's like widescreen.
There's always this fun opportunity to see
in standard
what
cakes,
little
my
Easter
goodness.
eggs artists might stick into the edges of the art. They always know that a portion of it won't be necessarily seen in the standard art, and lots of artists like to take that as an opportunity to get like a little secret into the extended. So maybe take a look at those a little closely next time.
So we also have some really cool field notes cards.
Okay.
It's kind of a sneaky way for us to get more than one individual piece of art on one card, right? So there's little vignettes.
It's been a treatment that we've done a handful of times now, and it just kind of makes sense. Field notes, they're on a field trip.
I really wanted to get that little idea of it being a student's notebook. Maybe little sketches, little pieces of ink splatter, depending on the school, little pieces of calligraphy.
So it's a really interesting, it's not just one picture and there's color and then there's no color. They usually look very hand-drawn, so there's like, you get a feeling of the hand of the artist behind it, which is really fun.
The idea is that these are little snapshots of the students actually going out, exploring the real world, capturing their learnings on paper.
This one especially, because I mean, I've seen artist sketchbooks and this is how you learn anatomy. You have to paint someone in 15 different poses, yeah. Super cool.
We also have right in front of us some really beautiful borderless dragons.
Beautiful.
Look at these guys.
The dragons. That we kind of got that old school sort of portraiture style with these and showed the dragons in just a very different light, very much being their most academic selves.
I was gonna say, these are very studious, yeah.
The Elder Dragons are, scholars. They are the ones that founded their colleges, respectively, and so they're kind of a fun, rare, playful chance to see these dragons in slightly less draconic poses.
We normally see them in their main set art and in other places just being cool, epic dragons, which is super fun. But the idea of putting them into these very refined academic settings and getting to showcase them with their quills or their instruments and their brushes was really just a fun reference to both the style of art you might expect to see in an academic setting with a little bit of playfulness to it.
Playfulness.
Borderless Planeswalker cards, they have this very like heavy,
Good
kind of
Lord.
symbolic feel to them. And
Oh
behind
my
each
God.
professor is kind of their abstracted magic in a really kind of interesting way.
We wanted to evoke a similar feeling on our Borderless Planeswalkers, both for Ral and for Deli and Fel. This allowed us to create a little bit more of like an illuminated manuscript version of those two characters to get a sense almost like you're reading about them in a textbook or an ancient scroll, perhaps sometime in the future.
The Mystical Archive is back, still delivering on a lot of the same excitement, new cast of spells that people will get to discover, but that treatment was so incredible that we knew we needed to go back and do it again.
It was really an opportunity for us to bring back something that was one of my favorite parts about the original set. The art style is phenomenal, and it's such a beautiful illuminated
that
manuscript
disdainful
that
stroke.
really evokes
Disdainful
this sense of grandeur and history and past. Also that strange, magical, esoteric aspect to it.
And the story ties so well to the set because the idea behind the Mystical Archives cards is that you are seeing an illustration of the very first time a
Giant
spell
girls,
is
ka-cute.
cast. You know, you can picture yourself as a
Ka-cute
student in
sa
the
giant girls.
Biblioplex doing your research and your due diligence and studying your spellcraft and looking up, you know, the first time Force of Will was cast. Force of Will is a really beautiful card on the Mystical Archives
kakalami.
sheet. The artist is Rowena Kai. She has a really distinctive style. She tends to use that powdery kind of like slate neutral
Force
blue
of
in a
Will,
lot of
uy,
her work, which fit
atay.
really perfectly with that card composition. And I think that big black circle in the middle gives like a really beautiful stage to her illustration. If you see her work up close, the face of the figure is
Force of
really
Will,
beautifully detailed and has a lot of emotion.
For the rares and the mythics, we knew that we wanted to really reach and find some of the most iconic, some of the most powerful, dynamic, awesome spells from
What?
Magic.
We wanted to balance with the Mystical
Tutor.
Archive having references both to the plane itself and also to other places. So Vampiric Tutor, for example, we're showcasing a Silver Quill student, so perhaps this is a spell that maybe originated on Arcavios.
And so we really wanted to make sure we chose spells that were even more iconic from
Small
Magic's history
box,
and illustrate them in our
yeah,
beautiful
small.
illuminated manuscript art style. I wanted the feeling to be as you're opening up a book and you're flipping through the tomes of Magic history that you see these iconic spells like Force of Will and Vampiric Tutor, and they're kind of jumping off the page and coming to life for you.
These Mystical Archive cards are so cool.
Yeah.
Look at this smallpox.
I know. It's so awesome.
Yeah, because you have this like figure that's like completely dimensional and you can see his claws and see his hands, and then over top of it you have these like circles which aren't kind of anything real necessarily, but like lend this kind of symbology to it, which makes it feel like it has even more meaning.
Sure.
So we have the whole Mystical Archives bonus sheet, and then we have a Japanese version, which is like goes even deeper.
Sure. Wow.
That one in particular is another version of Smallpox, and we really get to play with artists in their unique style. So this is an artist that draws everything as
Jesus
cats.
Christ.
And so it's really, really fun to just kind of send them a concept and know that I'm gonna get back some sort of cat.
Yeah, she got a very similar art description from this card, but she draws cats. That's
Totally
what you get.
And are all the artists that work on the Japanese Mystical Archive Japanese?
Yeah, we have an art director actually in Tokyo who works with us all the time, Yuki Koizumi, who's a total rock star. And we also worked with a Japanese agency called Kogoro. They help us out a lot. They're real experts, yeah.
Are you a cat person, Daniel?
I'm more of a dog person, but this art is pretty sweet.
I'm a smallpox person.
Yeah, these are righteous. It's immediately evocative. Like, these are obviously part of the Japanese tradition, especially some of these.
We also have a third style there, so
Okay.
it's the Japanese Mystical Archive, but with a special foil treatment over the top.
So this is actually our Silver Scroll foil. It's actually a brand new Eclipse treatment, different than the previous foil etch treatment that you saw in original Strixhaven. It's a little bit reminiscent of the gilded frames that we saw in Streets of New Capenna, but these are especially gorgeous.
There are 10 Borderless special guest cards in the set. This is kind of a meta idea that we had. So each of these special guest cards will have a professor teaching their students, and they are casting a lesson in magic. And the idea was that the magic that they're casting is visually represented in the style of the Mystical Archive.
So for example, with Sylvan Library, we see a Witherbloom professor teaching these students in the midst of a much more outdoorsy academic setting than you might expect to see, but that really conveys both the thing that the students are learning about as well as the type of school that they're part of.
Thank you all so much for joining me. I learned a ton. We made a great mess of the table in the best way possible, but yeah, this was a delight to speak with all of you. You're so knowledgeable about what you do.
Well, we've been to university.
True, yeah.
A very specific one, which you'll all be able to join us at soon.
So that's it for our debut. We saw so many cool cards today. The Emeritus Cycle, the Elder Dragons, the Mystical Archive, and especially those Japanese silver scroll foils. I mean, they're so sleek. Those accents really pop in person. The full art basic lands. I mean, there's so many cool cards. So let's get to our local game stores for pre-release on April 17th. The set releases on Arena on April 21st. And the full release is everywhere on April 24th.
I was purposely avoiding that one.
Thank you so much for joining me. We caught just
I saw people were just
but there is still so much left to be discovered.
People were
and I'll leave that to you.
Putting it there,
Goodbye.
so you know. Nice. I think. Is that it? There we go.
Three years ago, I set out with my modder friends to start making real-scale versions of the Star.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I don't get to look at the. I don't get to look at the things yet. I'll be slowly compiling them. Desktop. Kasabaan na sad ta? Okay lang. I should have just followed my command, just put everything in one. I think I woke a lot of people out. I'm sorry, guys. Apologies. Desktop. So we're just waiting for here on Twitch. What am I supposed to call this? Secrets of.
Hello and welcome to the weekly MTG after show for Secrets of Strixhaven. Strixhaven has so many more secrets to plumb that we're going to stick around here for another 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to dive deeper into mechanics, into different treatments, into just some cool cards. We're going to talk about cards you've seen. We are going to reveal new preview cards throughout this next hour. And to do all of that, we have two of the brilliant minds behind Secrets of Strixhaven, who you may recognize from the video you just watched. So we've got Athena and Reggie here. Welcome, you two. Yeah, how was watching yourselves on screen just a minute ago?
A little traumatizing, but really wonderful. It's exciting to see everything put together about the set in such a beautiful package.
Real quick, what were each of your roles on the set?
Yeah, so I'm Athena Froelich. I worked as executive producer on the set.
Executive producer, in fairness.
To final delivery.
And I was one of the set design leads in the game design.
Cool. All right. So these are the people to tell us all about all of the things. We are going to start by diving into the mechanics, and I think a lot of people have really gravitated to a new mechanic that is kind of wild and cool and does some amazing things.
My last
Prepared.
one.
And what better way to look at Prepared than to look at it through the lens of some of our students. So let's put up our first preview card, which is Abigail, Poet Laureate.
Ooh, look at that.
Let's, Reggie, tell us a little bit about what is Prepared. How does it work in this set?
Yeah, so Prepared is an ability that goes on creatures. They have unique templating, like you'll see, where they've got a spell in their text box. They kind of resemble adventures or omens, things that you've seen before, although you'll notice that the box is on the other side of the card, and we're doing that to denote that
makes
you can't cast
sense.
these from your hand
sense.
as their spells. They're just creatures that you cast, but then once they become prepared somehow, like this has a quest to prepare Abigail. Some creatures, like we've seen, enter prepared.
Sure.
And then once they are prepared, you can cast that spell, and it works like casting a spell. Like triggers casting.
It's good for limited.
Matter things and just works.
Yeah. Now, is there? So we see an uncommon here. Is there kind of a difference in how you thought about the creatures becoming prepared for commons, uncommons, rares?
I mean, a little bit, just in terms of complexity and what we were trying to do. So, for these students that we're going to be taking a look at, we really wanted to make sure that they played really well in their respective colleges, in their limited archetypes especially. And we're going to see a little bit more about that, but Silverquill really enjoys targeting creatures with spells, and so Abigail is very good at doing that, and wants to be played with some extra creatures too. But we definitely were exploring a range, you know. We really had a lot of fun with returning spells, existing magic spells being on cards, and we were actually pretty excited to get to put those on a range of rarities too. So commons, uncommons, and high rare.
I remember being really delighted during some of our early play testing when we were looking at some of the prepared spells and I'd be like, hey, I remember that spell. And now my creature gets to cast it as well as I do.
Yeah. There's going to be some deep cuts on these spells too. Like some of them, Ancestral Recall, not a deep cut, but some of these I love going on and be like.
Everybody was thinking that it was Dark Rit.
All right,
but
let's
we got Dark Rit, but we got Reanimate. So sure.
History buff. So we have another
Pack a punch.
vampire cleric here who's
a vampire. Interesting.
Yeah, Kirill is doing a little bit of everything, but really they are speaking to the Lorehold theme, which is whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard. And so you are trying to dig up the past with their Archaeomancy, and a really easy way to get things to leave your graveyard
Mill a card,
is
put
with the
2.
flashback mechanic, like we had seen. But there are a lot of bespoke ways.
Leave your graveyard.
And so Kirill is a really nice payoff, caring about things leaving your graveyard and
these are the signpost uncommons to push you towards a certain archetype.
Exactly. Athena, do you have a favorite of the students?
I don't know. Perhaps your next one.
Okay. Lewin, exchange student, is our next student with Prepare. An elf druid that can cast Pest Friend, which is a great name for a spell. Reggie, walk us through this one.
Best Friend.
Kind of cool one. So Lewin enters prepared, so you can just cast Pest Friend right away, which is pretty nice. And then it actually has an activated ability to prepare itself, which I think is one of the few cards that works like this. So it kind of works a little bit like a
it's an elf.
Night Soil.
It's an elf.
Sort of a card where you get to pay a mana to exile.
It's an elf. Hello.
In this case, a pest, and so it is a little cheaty because it looks like there's no mana gate. Oh, it's crazy, but you're actually, to get the most value out of it, you need to keep casting Pest Friend, paying the 1. And this is also a good chance to show off that our tokens have changed a little bit. So pests are obviously returning, and we knew and loved them, but in the original Strixhaven School of Mages, they died to gain the 1 life.
Yeah.
Here, they're a little more aggressive. They want to attack to gain the life. They're still often going to die, but, who could block that pest? It's so cute. Come on. But, yeah, they play a little differently and more of kind of a token swarm aggro to play into the infusion themes.
Early on in our concept push, we had our artists kind of sit down and come up with a lot of different concepts for what pests might look like, what are new and improved versions of pest, and this pest pug was one of them. And so I'm really happy that we were able to preserve this on this token. Perhaps this is why this is my favorite.
It's a pretty adorable pest pug. I do. So I kind of asked about it in the last one too, Reggie. But this one enters prepared. It has that activated ability. When you were figuring out how these prepared creatures become prepared, was there a place you started, or was it just tweaking and seeing what felt right for the card?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you'll see the most, especially at low rarities, are things that enter prepared, and then have medium to expensive spells that they're casting, and then they play a little more like mechanics that we've seen, kind of like a monstrosity or an exhaust ability. Okay. But we really enjoyed, and I think playtesters really resonated with ones that can re-prepare themselves and cast that spell multiple times over and have more of a dream. And so we were always looking for conditions that could make that make sense wherever we could.
All right. Well, let's see our next student here. Snar, Unfinished Genius, who's able to cast a wild idea, create treasure tokens. A lot of things going on here, Reggie.
This one's maybe my favorite of the cycle. I like Sinar. Kind of doing a little bit of just everything you want in your Opus decks, which is what Prismari is about. So Opus cares about casting instants and sorceries with mana value 5 or greater, or spend 5 or more mana on them. And Sonar comes prepared and has a 5 mana instant and sorcery right there, and it's often going to be able to let you find another 5 mana instant and sorcery, so you can really just keep the Opus flowing. And it's kind of functioning a little bit like a mana dork for spells, which we see a bunch, but it's a little more open-ended and powerful than that, getting to create treasures and banking them for later. I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really exciting about Prepare is whenever we're embarking on a new mechanic, there's this tension between, do you want to keep things simple and really easy for new players to grok and understand, or do you want to introduce a little bit more complexity, which also allows for a little bit more flexibility? And I think here we erred on the side of allowing that flexibility, and it really allows each of these, they're just uncommons, but they really tell a story about what each of the colleges is about, what they're trying to do, and what their specific mechanic is.
All right, which leads us to our final student and seeing what this college is all about. We've got TAM, Observant Sequencer. This one's my favorite because it says draw a card, but
Landfall.
Yeah, so landfall becoming prepared.
This is strong. I like this.
Again, thinking about conditions that would make sense to
Simic,
allow things to
somewhat
re-prepare
Simic.
themselves and be a little more open-ended in their execution. A little like Lewin, where it reads crazy, but unlike a lot of landfall abilities, this one kind of moderates itself because you need to spend that mana and kind of weave it in. But if you can figure out the sequencing, which is kind of what Increment and Quandrix is all about, it can be really powerful.
Chat even said first fair landfall card. There you go. Good work.
Fair landfall card.
Now our final card is our final card. God no, we've got a ways to go. Our final card in the prepared section gets a bit more at what I was talking about with making
kusuga
in other ways,
Right, so like I was saying, we have a lot of these creatures
100 peso card, 100 peso uncommon,
so, they enter prepared,
100 peso uncommon, pastilan.
We wanted to kind of play around with it, and there are a couple of different ways that you can re-prepare things deliberately, in this case from the land row, and we think it's pretty sweet. You can also try to cheat it out. Some creatures have really expensive, questy ways to prepare themselves, and you can instead try to, cook the books.
Yeah, and this art is absolutely gorgeous. I know one of the things that we talked about
Nice
in
art.
our debut video
Very nice
how
art.
we wanted to expand the lens outside of just the campus itself, and so here you get to see one of the Owlin villages that exists outside the campus. You can see our little sky coach in the distance where we talked about how do these students get from the field location to field location, and it really builds the story of what's happening on Arcadia.
Been streaming for almost.
It's making a creature become prepared. Do you have all your books, your stylus, your extra?
Your lucky scarf.
How
cute.
How many effects like this are we going to see in the set where something external makes a creature prepared?
I think there might only be 2.
Okay.
So just a light sample,
Only
mostly
2.
for draft.
Just a few. All right, makes sense.
Draft.
Let's
People will
move
make it
on
work.
To our next section.
People will
We're
make it
continue
work.
Talking about mechanics here. And we're going to start with
Oh,
flashback.
this
is
is
a pretty simple flashback story,
ayaw.
but I also think probably one that's fairly strong.
Yeah, flashback is honestly just a perfect mechanic. There's a reason we go to that well time and time again as, a deciduous sampling, or in this case as a more robust mechanic in the set proper. We really enjoy how it plays and ties in with both instants and sorceries matter broadly. It is 2 instants and sorceries to cast. When you care about that, things can leave your graveyard for lore hold synergies when you care about that. We got to play around, not on this one in particular, but having expensive flashback costs is a cool way to be able to do Opus, which
give
we
me
really
a
enjoyed.
quick sec.
Halves in the same turn is
Just making sure, cause I sometimes forget to close a window. Cause right now I'm quadrupling windows right now.
Athene, you've been playing for a while with flashback. What's your experience with flashback in this set?
It's really fun. It's really powerful. It feels like something that feels.
Thank God this is a sorcery. This is too
really
strong as not a sorcery.
What Lorehold is trying to do. So I think it's a really good marriage here between an existing mechanic that now gets new life in a new set.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at a new mechanic that has some roots in older mechanics, but increment here seen on Berta. The Wise Extrapolator. All right, Reggie, walk us through what's going on with increment.
So, increment looks a little similar to evolve, which we've seen before.
Yeah, evolve. What's happening? Hello? Weird. Lost my audio. Audio died. It happened to my audio. The heck? Refresh. Oh, there's an ad break. Ah, okay. What? There was an ad break. Oh my god. They're serious. There was an ad break. Asswipe. How much are watching? I'm happy for them. They can get these many viewers right now. Whew. It's like it's stuck.
And then I really want to spend 3 mana on a spell, and 4 mana on a spell, and so on and so forth. And all the while, Berta is kind of helping me do that sequencing by adding a little mana, giving me a mana sink, and shows the fractals that are returning. We really care a lot about X and +1/+1 counters here.
Athena, Chad is particularly into the frogs these days.
Who isn't?
Who isn't?
It's a frog.
We've seen a lot of
So
frogs,
the
especially since
Broomborough people are excited.
How much of that connective tissue are you all purposely seeding throughout the sets?
I would say more than you think. Typically, it's either someone on the design team's a really big fan, or just thinking in general about the people. People want frogs, so let's give them
People
frogs.
clearly want frogs, yeah.
And so we try to have that connective tissue through, so if someone is a frog, that they're continually getting their supplement of frogs, and perhaps even that you can make like a frog standard deck to really make that sing. And I know in general, for this set, like I'm looking at this fractal, this cute little snail dude, we were always trying to push it and say, how can we make things even more charming? How can we make things even more fun? What fun creature types can we do? What fun iconography can we do with these fractal and different mascot images to really make sure that every single card tells its own story and has its own message and has its own home and person who's really going to love it.
All right, next up, we've talked around Opus a little bit, but let's actually talk about Opus and this adorable goblin bard here. Reggie, what is Opus and what are we looking at here?
So, Prismari cares about casting instants and sorceries in general. So does Molten Core Maestro here. Whenever you cast an instant and sorcery, you just get a +1/+1 counter, full stop. Doesn't matter what happened. But if you spend 5 or more mana on that spell through whatever means, kickers, flashback, just casting a 5 mana spell, then you get an extra goodie on top. And all of these Opus cards are structured this way, where they do one base case and then they do something awesome when you get the full effect.
Is the base case always a +1/+1 counter, or is it just
no, it's
small?
Okay, yeah, exactly. It's just a reward, kind of like a Magecraft reward.
Sure.
Oh, on this creature. Okay.
Yeah, Athena, your thoughts on the Goblin Bard here?
It's a strong
I'm
card.
Horrified to think about
strong
what exactly is happening in this artwork combined with the flavor text.
There's so many colors.
So many colors, so much danger, so much fun.
All right, next up is Infusion, the Witherbloom mechanic.
There's
and this
so
cares
much
about,
mechanics.
if you gain life,
Jeez.
but it is this spell in particular is fairly powerful. Let's see.
So many.
Curse.
Ah.
There it is.
People have already seen a little bit of the Lumerets, these
Jesus
frog
Christ, what a
spirits
removal.
that have appeared on a variety of cards and are just real cuties. They're powerful magic users, as we've seen. Once they gain life, once they grow in multiples, like the flavor text says, gather to eliminate larger threats, and they're doing that here. You can get yourself a 3-mana damnation if you work for it.
Yeah, I know one thing that I wasn't really aware of until I started working on magic sets is how much time and effort it goes into making sure when you see a card, you immediately know what plane it's from, what set is it associated with, and so you're always looking for different signals. For example, with Strixhaven, you'll see a lot of the sky arches, where you can kind of look in once you see that motif. And so Lumerets were one of the things that we wanted to bring forward to make it feel like we're building out Arcavios, you're learning more about the story, you're learning about the fauna that's kind of growing there. And these little dudes are just so charming that once you see one, you're like, I love Lumerets, I want a bunch more Lumerets, what can I do with them?
Yeah. Well, and chat beat me to it, but I'm already like in my head. Okay, so cornucopia, I forget what the green cornucopia.
Oh yeah.
When you cast a spell, you gain life equal to number of colors. You just need one here. All right. Next, let's move on to the best named mechanic in the set, Repartee. We saw this one in the debut, but Reggie, walk us through what Repartee is.
So Repartee cares about whenever you cast instants and sorceries that target a creature. So that can be your creature, that can be their creatures, and it's really kind of open-ended. So a little bit of heroic meets crimes, valiant, a little bit of everything in there. And so, yeah, you really want to be playing kind of a lean, aggressive, creature-based strategy, and then kind of your choice. Are you backing it up with pump spells, removal spells, a mix of both? It's very white-black in how it's doing it, but still caring about those.
The audio got lost again.
Instants and sorceries at the root of it.
Yeah, I really just love looking at this art. You can kind of see all the work and time and effort that went into making sure that each of the different magical styles for each of the different colleges has its own visual motif. So here you can see kind of that spell calligraphy where it looks like the spell itself are words being cast.
Yeah.
And especially even when we talk about like different wands and stylus or different ways that people are casting magic here, it looks like an ink nib where you kind of have that calligraphy and the feather at the end.
Now this to me, so that casting costs white, white, black, black. That looks to me like this. Is this a cycle?
This is not a cycle.
This is not a cycle. This is just a cool card that looks like this.
Mana symbols look pretty sweet.
They do look pretty sweet, yeah. All right, now people are going to ask for it to be a cycle over the next time we go to Strixhaven. All right, last named mechanic here. We're going to look at Paradigm, and we have Improvisation.
Okay, we did that
already. We saw
After
this
you
one
first
in the
saw
debut,
spell,
but
you
Paradigm is a
okay.
pretty cool mechanic.
Pretty epic?
Pretty epic mechanic. Maybe even better than epic.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something that we always enjoy doing a little bit of, is thinking about ways to recontextualize or fix old magic mechanics that, had their core in a really awesome idea, but missed a little on the execution. So in this case, we were thinking about ways to make awesome over-the-top instants and sorceries in our instant and sorcery set. And we had thought about epic and ways to, harken back to that, find an instant and sorcery that had residual impact on the game, turn over turn. And we tinkered around with some executions and landed on Paradigm, and we're pretty excited.
Okay. How much Paradigm is in the set?
There are 5 cards with Paradigm, each of them represent kind of a year-end project from each of the schools in the 5 mono colors.
And also, plenty of people have noticed that this is a less.
I don't know why the audio keeps cutting
How
out.
many lessons are in the set?
There are only 5 lessons in the set.
so it's
These
just-
are the
Right.
lessons, so they're pretty important ones to learn. You know, on your way to graduation, competing with mascot exhibition as your top end, but they're pretty fun and splashy.
Yeah, there will be a pop quiz at the end, so.
There will be. Yeah, we're keeping track of all.
Pop quiz was also in the first one. That did learn. Perfect.
All right, we are going to move on to booster.
Okay, solve that problem.
Pool cards and these special guests. Can you talk us through here?
Yeah, this was a
Oi.
fun challenge. Oh, what are fun spells from throughout this set and kind of put them in their own entire mystical
Dual-caster.
archive, which is kind of that same. We want to keep special guests, so we decided to do this mixture of both cards that were themed by professors teaching a guest lesson. So as you can see here, Chiromancer or Murmuring Mist. But then also we had a little subtext of like, oh, what are fun library or book themes? So we got Cody coming back from original Strixhaven, as well as Library of Lang and Make Us a Library, as well as our one that we previewed in our debut, Sylvan Library.
That dual caster mage though.
Well, and I
That
love
dual
all these
caster
directions.
mage.
We're gonna learn all about
Jeez
Cody and
Louise.
Library of Lang. Yeah, we saw a lot of thoughts on Library of Lang with the with Lorehold, the dragon. You could hypothetically do that in Limited.
That's true.
That is hypothetically a thing you could do. The first one to do it, please tag me. I would love to know. All right, where, Athena, can you get special guests?
So you can get these, I believe, in non-foil in play boosters and foil in collector boosters.
Cool. All right, well, let's move on to the headliner of the set. We saw this in the debut, but we
That
just need to sit here and
headliner,
gush
though.
a little bit over Mark
Jeez.
Poole.
Mark Poole coming back,
This
making
is
that
absolutely
art
wonderful. I actually have a print by
amazing.
Mark Poole of the original Ancestor
I
Recall in
cannot.
my living room. So every day I look at it and being able to kind of bring that to life on a modern card, especially since Mark's style has evolved over the years, so you can really see the growth when you hold them next to each other of what Magic kind of looked like 30 years ago compared to Magic now. And something really, so it's retro stylings, where we could put that beautiful serialization on it.
Yeah, for those of us who are older, it kind of reminds me of the Player's Reward Tidings.
Cryptic Command.
The Cryptic Command, yeah, it has that vibe going for it.
I don't know if the thing is buffering or it stopped on
Oh,
their
so
end
when
as
you're going throughout
well.
Magic's history, I know one
But
of the
I think
people
it's
look at
okay.
Some of the old full art tokens
Yeah.
were original.
Yep.
Also use a similar frame.
All right, so there are a bunch of different versions of Emeritus of Ideation, so let's pull those all up. Next slide, there we go. Okay, so
saw this
Athena,
already.
where can you find each of these different versions?
So your main set, you'll be able to
Gonna be.
That wasn't going to do it, you don't think?
I
No?
don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
you know, the door's open. We could do it again now.
Maybe someday.
You tell us you like prepared.
All right. All right, let's take a look at another treatment that we saw in the debut. So these are our borderless cards. So this is Professor Delian Fell. Athena, tell us a little bit about the borderless treatment.
Yeah, this is.
I love these planeswalkers. These planeswalkers are amazing. These are the kind of planeswalkers that give them what they are supposed to be. Jesus Christ. Gain 3 life, Friction Arena, Murder.
I think these are just beautiful and wonderful to look at. I've seen some foil versions in person where it just kind of glints off the
Kusog
card.
kayo ba eh?
It's always fun to be able to do, introduce a new planeswalker. You kind of get to know a little bit more about them, the story that they're telling, and this is going to be the first ever showing of their card, so it's going to become iconic in the future.
Well, and I want to, Reggie, I want to stick on this card for a moment because we haven't gotten to talk about any planeswalkers on this show yet. But both of the planeswalkers in this set have 4 abilities, which is a little unique. How did you all land on that?
We've been experimenting with Planeswalkers a bunch in Standard over the past couple
Shut
of
up.
years.
I do not believe that. Shut up. Bullshit.
After we desparked a lot of Planeswalkers in March of the Machine, we were intentionally pulling back a little bit and doing less Planeswalkers in our sets. Usually it was like about one Planeswalker per. And a lot of them were pretty novel designs. We were experimenting and enjoying a lot of the design space of static abilities on Planeswalkers and making them a little more abstract build-arounds. And we think that there's still a time and a place for those, but we were also excited to get back and introduce a few more Planeswalkers into the environment because we felt like we were missing a little bit of that in Standard. And we were excited to have a starting point of actually these Planeswalkers don't have statics. These are just really powerful, straightforward Planeswalkers. That, you know, the power is in their modality and their effect.
Yeah.
And it just ended up workshopping that they
I like
with 4 abilities.
I honestly really like
fairly differently, but they're pretty sweet. This one's pretty good with Healing Salve. So
this one actually casts a version of Healing Salve. It's probably better. Then we'll go talk about the dragons.
Yeah, so we've done, when we were working on this set, I was also working on Tarkir.
Instant and sorceries, you guys have Storm.
You know, just dragons were on our
Holy
mind.
shit.
We're always thinking about, like, what are cool treatments that we can do with dragons after doing a full set of cool treatments of dragons. And so here we wanted to kind of lean into the whimsy. Often when you see elder dragons, they're seen as, like, really regal.
I don't know why I'm buffering.
And badass poses where they're flying or swooping. And here instead we wanted to say, hey, what if we showed them kind of in their natural environments as teachers, as founders of these different colleges?
Looking for ways to set these dragons apart, both from their original versions, you know, the Elder Dragons from Strixhaven School of Mages, which are pretty awesome, and from just all the other dragons in the environment. And so we were thinking about ways to make them
He's just happy.
stand out.
He's happy to be there.
Into the instance and
I honestly like the other Spire better. It was easier to cast and cheaper and what you call this?
We ended up, you know, running with this instance and sorcery spells have
Storm. Of all things to give it, Storm. Good lord.
Returning abilities, and we were kind of gritting it out, workshopping where things could go, what made sense. A lot of them changed a lot of times, but Storm did stick for quite a while just because
Storm.
It's Storm. I mean, it's a wild line of text.
I mean, if you want in this set, you could cast an Ancestral Recall with Storm. Where else can you do that?
That's nowhere. Canadian Highlander. There's my one plug. We did see questions in chat about, I believe it was Lorehold that gave Cascade.
Quandrix
gives Cascade. Okay, Quandrix gives Cascade. That's right. Lorehold gives Miracle. So Quandrix gives Cascade. We recently, semi-recently, introduced Discover as an updated version
Discover was better.
of Cascade.
Discover
Why did you go
was
with
fixed.
Cascade instead of Discover?
A little bit of 2 factors. One, coolness. Cascade just has a lot of cachet. It's really awesome and powerful and cool to read. And another was just templating, frankly. The card itself has Cascade on that one, and it's granting those abilities to instants and sorceries, and so we would have had to write some slightly more pained words of instants and sorceries have Discover X, where X is their mana value, and it would have Discover 6 on it, and it would just read a little wonkier, frankly. And so we tested, and thought Cascade was workable, and so we ran with it.
Cool.
Yeah, one of the funny things is Typically, when we work on a Magic set, there's quite a long span of time between when we're pencils down on the set and when the set actually releases, because we have to do the packaging.
Pencils down.
Print and everything. And during that time span, I was actually out on maternity leave and after leave, and being able to see everything was wonderful to see what a true love letter this is to Magic's history, whether through the mystical, through our paradigm spells, like that, and the different dragons of showing different mechanics in so many different ways.
Yeah. All right. Let's field notes. So Athena, what are these, and where can you get them?
Yeah. So field notes is a returning booster fund treatment, and something really cool here is because this set is all about the students kind of venturing out
Total mana value 4 or greater.
It gives you that feeling of the students are actually illustrating in their different different notebooks about what they're learning and what they're studying. So one of the things that I love here is you can tell this is a Prismari student who's kind of doodling different movements and different stylings, and throughout the set you'll be able to see different, depending on what college you're looking at, different little things in the margins. And so these will be found in both play and collector boosters and foil and non-foil.
We've already talked about paradigms, so we'll keep moving on to another very cool inclusions, which are the portal dual lands. So these are showing omen paths, and actually, Athena, why don't you talk about them?
Yeah, so these are a view into a different dimension, and I'm really excited to see what fans are kind of thinking on the other side here. Just really gorgeous. Art, full art, each of them shows the different stylings, the different castings of magics. You've got some of that beautiful wither bloom organic magic, some of that more quandrix fractal magic, for the full cycle here of all 5 lands.
And Reggie, I mean, obviously we know why these specific color pairings ended up in this set, but how did you all end up on this cycle of slow lands?
They just played really well the first time around. So we first saw these lands.
You have so much. This is unfair. It should have been the first.
I feel like when we put them into that set, they were new, and it was one of those things where, why didn't we try this yet? You know, it's just such a simple line, kind of reminiscent of, you know, fast lands or some of our other land cycles, but we just felt like the play patterns were really good, the power level was just about right, and it had been a little while since we'd seen them in Standard, so it felt like it was just a good landing spot.
All right, our next booster fund treatment is extended art, and we're seeing
Withering Curse is strong.
Cards that we saw earlier. Athena, where can you get extended art?
You can find these in collector boosters. Really lovely.
Yeah, we do these, I think,
which is a tomb which shows
Deduce.
spells throughout Magic history, illustrated in illuminated manuscript.
Really nice Deduce.
And so this is a bonus sheet, so it'll be one in every pack, where you can open it up and you'll be able to cast these spells in limited formats and really kind of, I keep saying live the dream, but it really is. You get to live the dream of casting some of these fun spells that you never really thought you'd be able to cast before. And then you can add them to your collection later and put them into your commander decks.
So, how often, where are you going to be seeing these?
So, the English version of the Mystical Archive on the left, it'll be 1 per pack in play boosters, as well as sometimes in collector boosters, you'll get some of the foil versions. There's also a Japanese Mystical Archive version, which in English booster packs is exclusive to collector boosters. If you are in Japan and opening play boosters, you'll get a small smattering of the Japanese Mystical Archive occasionally in play boosters, because it is Japan. We think you should get the ability to play with cards in your own language. And then we have this beautiful Silver Scroll Foil Mystical Archive, which is our collector booster exclusive. Absolutely gorgeous. I think we showed a little bit off in the debut, and I also think you might have some.
I have a few. If we want to go to the camera on me, I don't want to show me though, so I want to show these. If we are able to zoom in, that would be great. So this is Duty Before Death. So here is the Vampiric Tutor.
Oh shit. Shows us the tutor, Jesus Christ.
That's not they're pretty.
Gotta see
They're pretty.
So
dude.
right, but yes, the foiling, so it's a little raised. It's a little bit textured.
What?
Here is.
Yeah.
Serioso?
Give a really nice silver sheen to them. In addition to around the name of the card, as well as the type line and the text box, you get that raised silver, like piping, I think is what we call it internally. So it really glints and shines off of each other.
Duty Beyond
Death.
A reprint
Very
from.
All right, those are
Targear.
all of the treatments. We do have one more thing before we go, which is Secrets of Strixhaven previews. They're obviously kicking off right now, and in order to fully appreciate the set, we've invited a bunch of creators to partake and show off a bunch of content. So here are all of the creators who are going to be posting content. You can look for hashtag MTG Ambassador or hashtag MTG Partner
Soon.
on your favorite social media platform.
Hopefully soon. Loading ready run. There we go. Imposible.
You'll find all of these fine folk making some really cool stuff and talking about Secrets of Strixhaven over the next 2 weeks as we roll through previews. Take a look for those. So thank you for tuning in to both the debut and the after show. Thank you, Athena. Thank you, Reggie. Any final thoughts on Secrets of Strixhaven before we go?
No, I hope everyone enjoys and loves the set as much as we do. It's been a real treat working on this, and I'm so excited to venture back into Arcavius and see what it has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, same. I'm just stoked, and so I hope you all love it.
Next week, we are going to be back with Shauna McGuire, the author of the Secrets of Strixhaven novel that is also coming out next week. And she and I are going to be going through the rest of the Mystical Archives, pretty much the rest of the Mystical Archives. So if you like the Mystical Archives, if you're interested in the fiction, or if you just like Shauna McGuire, who is a delightful human, please come back next week, same time. We'll see you then.
All right. Amazing. Face. Anyway. Yeah. Strixhaven, the first coming of Strixhaven, wasn't that impactful. The reason why is the lands that they gave us was not that great, and everybody was all over the place, and Strixhaven came out nearby COVID. It was a COVID set, so nobody really wanted to play with it that much. I think I remember playing the pre-release here, still on the still on COVID restrictions, but people could go out, so less restrictions. So we were playing with face masks. We were playing distance, like stuff like that. So it wasn't really the best time for Strixhaven, and this was the time where Standard was totally crap. Nobody played Standard. Everybody was playing Pioneer at the time. So I think I am confident to say that it was 2021 for the original Strixhaven. I'm trying to remember the dragons were a big boon for Commander, sure. Other than that, Strixhaven didn't really give that much. It gave it ni bawi siya. It the joy of opening Strixhaven was more of in the what you call this mystical archives. Yeah, so we had Tainted Pact, we had Demonic Tutor, so we have those kind of things. So yeah, coming back to Strixhaven, and with all of the cards that they showed us now, they're cranking it up to 11. Like, if you guys enjoyed Lorwyn, everybody loved Lorwyn this year. Lorwyn was the bomb. Everybody is so fond of Lorwyn right now. Turtles, sure. Side quest. Right now, Strixhaven is gonna be great. So, hoping it would be great. It already looks like it's gonna be great with all of the. So we already have 2 of the alpha spells. We have the reanimate, and we have what you call this, ancestral recall. So kudos to that. We have 3 more. We have the green one. Hopefully isn't what you call that, giant growth. I'm thinking of berserk maybe. Yeah. For the white one, I swear to cow if they give us healing salve, but what I'm actually thinking is Lord Source of Plowshares. And lastly, the red one, which is highly debatable, could be most likely be Lightning Bolt. We've been waiting. It's been a meme now for red players. Na give us back Lightning Bolt. Give us the bolt. It probably will be, knowing that things is the thing about giving us Lightning Bolt will be really funny. So most of the time, most likely it will be Lightning Bolt. So hopefully, because I have a bet with a good friend right now about Lightning Bolt, so we'll see. What else? The limited environment will be great. I swear to cow, I can already see it happening. The limited environment will be absolutely amazing. So I'm hoping I can get some drafts together for this one. So we'll see. What else can I talk about? Can I? I already had some. Give me a moment. Let me try to copy all of the there we go. Copy all of the things that I have screenshotted, except that. Let's put them in. Let's see what we have. Let's get creators out of the way. So where's my face? Okay, I have space in the other side here. So we looking at the okay. Silver Quill, the Despondent. 2 and Orzhov, legendary creature, Elder Dragon, flying vigilant. So 4 to cast 4/4 dragon. Already good. Each instant and sorcery spell you cast has casualty 1. As you cast a spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 1 or greater. When you do, copy the spell and you may choose new targets for the copies. Oh shit. Give me a second, let me. Gaming and talking about the spoilers a bit. Come and say hello. Okay, and last. If you guys didn't know, I was what you call this? I was screenshotting a lot of the give me a second, let me change. There we go. I was screenshotting a lot of the spoilers, so now I have the time to look at them. Goodness gracious. Casualty 1. Casualty comes from, where was that? Capena. Yes. As you cast a spell, sacrifice a creature power 1 and greater. When you do, copy the spell and you may choose new targets for the copies. In white, I don't see it being one thing that they did not talk about, the charms. They didn't talk about the charms at all. Weird. Anyway. Each instant and sorcery has casualty 1. If it comes to copying the charms, I think that's great. Like looking at limited, in standard, what big spell? Exanguinate. If you really want to double that up, sure. Prismari, inspiration, flying, ward 5, instant sorceries have storm. Sure, give us storm. Storm in standard twice. We have that dragon that has storm, and that instant sorceries have storm. In blue, red, perfect. But looking at that casting cost, though, if you guys can see the casting cost, that's 7 mana. Goodness gracious. I can see it happening with I guess like in modern, I guess. Beautiful in modern. It's easy to get to 7 mana with storm, so sure. What else? Yeah. Wither Bloom the Balancer. This card is the reason why that Convoke flashback spell is expensive. Affinity for creatures. So it's an 6 and Golgari 5/5 affinity for creatures. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control. Flying Death Touch. Instant and sorcery spells you cast have affinity for creatures. Again, pretty good. How it's gonna use, we'll see. Lorehold the Historian. Here we go. Flying Haste. 5 to cast 5/5. 3 and a Boros 5/5 Flying Haste. Not bad. Good that it's good there. Each sorcery and instant card in your hand has Miracle 2. Wow. Did I read that right? Miracle 2. At the beginning of each opponent, you may discard a card if you don't draw a card. Wow. What is this? Wow. The dragons are strong. Quandrix, the proof. What was that? Flying Trample. 6 to cast, 6/6. 4 and 4 and Quandrix, sorry. It's 3 and Lorehold, sorry. Flying Trample 6 is Cascade. Instant and sorceries you cast from your hand have Cascade. Wow. They're pretty good. They all affect your instant and sorceries in some form or fashion, which is actually pretty good. So yeah. Jeskai Revelation for 2 CMC. Hey Ashtakun. Yeah, exactly. Let me add here. Alright. Yeah. What is this? Jeskai Revelation for 2. And it's in the Jeskai colors. We have the 2 Jeskai dragons. So Jeskai dragons is a thing. Or Abzan dragons, Timor dragons. It's dragons galore. And dude, we have the mocks. We have the mocks for dragons. So it's gonna be something. Let me increase that a little bit. Okay, let's talk about the Planeswalkers. I am excited about the Planeswalkers. Holy crap. Ral Zarek, guest lecturer, 1 black. There's a Liliana right there. +1, Surveil 2. Sure. Any number of target players, each discard a card. Yes. -2, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Seryoso ni? Oh my gosh. Hello everyone watching today. We have 11 viewers. Thank you so much for joining. If you guys can give me a like and a follow, that would be great. This is the card of the set. Like usually every new set I only look at the first thing I look at in a new set are 2 things. Removal and lands. This is not removal, but this is effectively disruption, which is great. Any number of target players each discard a card. So you can, if you want to target yourself, you can. Hello, Superior Spider-Man. Hello, Overlord with Bulwark. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. There is abundant targets for this. So many. Mana value 3 or less. This goes to what was that? Oculus, right? This goes to Oculus. Turn 1 or 2, find a way to discard Oculus. Turn 3, Razeric. Hey! -7, -7. Flip 5 coins. Target opponent skips their next X turns, where X the number of coins that come up heads. He had to go back to his Izet roots with the coin flipping. Goodness gracious. Wow. The problem with this card, off the bat, my issue with this card, it does not protect itself. That's the problem with it. It does not protect itself. Liliana of the Veil protected itself because of the sacrifice. This one is just it's disruption and reanimation, but not. It cannot protect itself. That's the problem with it. But it's a 3 mana planeswalker. How much more? What more than you ask for? Oh yeah, the elementals. They're common, and they mostly have what you want as a signpost. We have Inkling Mascot. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets a creature, this creature gets flying and surveil 1. Element Mascot. It's an elemental, flying, vigilance 1/4. Sure. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +1/+1 whenever. If more mana were spent to cast that spell, exile the top of your library. Okay. Pest Mascot. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Very weird colors to be in, but it is in flavor. Spirit Mascot. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So, this is going for like reanimation. What comes to mind is Bloodghast. The other should be Flashback. Factor on this creature, tap target creature, put a stun counter on it. So it's a big ass beater, sure. It's an elk. Master, sure. This card is dumb. If you ask me, this card is dumb. It's like if you have, I'm talking about in standard, okay, because I'm a standard player. It's what I do. Mathematics. So at most, I actually did the math here. Where was that? I only went up to 8. So for 8 mana, so that's 3 + 3 6 + 2 8. For 8 mana, you draw 8. Sure. For 8 mana, you draw 8. Sure. It's pretty good. But you're tapping out as a sorcery. At most, you just cycle this for blue. This is a cycle for blue. Cycle for blue or draw 2 cards. It's a draw 2 cards for 4 1/1 and blue. Sure. Someone will abuse this. 100% in Commander. Someone will abuse this. Someone will make a bunch of mana and make someone draw a painful amount of cards. Sure. Procrastinate. Kane. The what you call this? The is it prowess deck didn't need more tools. The Izet one didn't need more tools. It's the floor is one a single blue tap target creature. You put 1 there for 2 mana. You tap it and it gets stunned for 2 turns. What the fish? 2 turns. Jeez Louise. Stress Dream deals 5 damage to up to 1 target creature. Okay, it's instant, sure. Look at the top 2 cards. Put on. I like these kind of cards. It's removal, and it's also. Oh, hello. Wala pa day na human. The Dawning. We have a fresh from the we'll get to that. Okay. Landscape Painter. This creature enters prepared. So it's a 1 in the blue. Merfolk Wizard enters prepared 2/1. Vibrant Idea, 5 to cast, draw 2 cards, sure. And the big boy of the big boy. Okay, so we know what prepared does. So it comes in prepared. Once it's prepared, you can cast the prepared spell. Then it becomes unprepared. So, whenever this creature attacks, you may exile 8 cards from your graveyard. The creature becomes prepared. So, with just the low price of exiling 8 cards, which is easy if you self-mill, you can be drawing Ancestral Recall a couple of times. Sure. This is their headliner, sure. The Grave Researcher, Troll Warlock. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. If there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, it becomes prepared. And we get Reanimate. Oh my god. Reanimate. Reanimate, for those who don't know, is put target creature card from your graveyard into battlefield under your control. From a graveyard, ladies and a graveyard, not yours, a graveyard. So any. You lose life equal to the creature's mana value. Sure. Sure. Join Researchers. 1 and a white, human cleric wizard, 2/2. First strike, pretty good. At the beginning of each end step, if the opponent has more cards in hand than you, this creature becomes prepared. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. Sure. This is a callback to Secret Rendezvous from original Strixhaven. So yeah, they wanted to do that. Sure. Oh jeez, I lost my Babel Black Stormkeeper. When this enters, choose up to 1 target creature becomes prepared. They said that aside from the creature itself, there are 2 cards that can make a creature prepared. So there was that land in this one, so sure. Target creature becomes unprepared. Sure. It's the signpost. It's the random colorless creature with the sets mechanic thing. So yep. Let me share this. No. Alright. Improvisation Capstone. So as they said, there are only 5 lessons in the set. 5 lessons. It's these mythics. Now these mythics remind me, it's a callback actually. For me it's not actually a callback, but it's a callback to Epic. Single color huge mana spells that you can use it for the rest of the game. These are kind of similar. So they have an ability called Paradigm. Let's read it first. It's 7 mana, guys. 7 mana. Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile cards with total mana value 4 or greater. So 4 is a stopgap. You can go above 4 with your last card, but 4 is a stopgap. You can get 4 1-drops or 2 2-drops or 1-drop and a 7-drop. Sure. You may cast any number of the spells from among them without paying their mana cost. Sure. If you get an X spell, good luck. Paradigm. Then exile the spell. After you first resolve a spell with this name, you may cast a copy from it from exile without paying its mana cost at the beginning of each of your first main phases. Like Epic, you can cast it again and again. After you first resolve a spell with this name, you may cast a copy from it from the beginning from exile. So once you have you cast it first, it becomes exiled. After you first resolve, you may cast a copy from it at the beginning. After you first resolve a spell with this, you may cast a copy from it from exile without paying its mana cost at the beginning. So every turn you get a copy of it. That's how I understand it. Yeah. Consider Duelist. White, black. Core Warlock. When this creature enters, draw a card. Each player loses 1 life. Oh, that's good. By itself, is that good? Repartee. Whenever you cast an instant resource spell that targets a creature, exile up to 1 target creature. Return that card to the battlefield and score at the beginning of the next end step. So it gets rid of a thing every time you target a creature. So you target a creature, it exiles something else. Return that at the beginning of the build. Okay. This is strong. One of the local players here, Paulo Alonso, has a current white black deck. This is strong. Let me copy that. Strong. Okay, we have Opus. This Izet horse is pretty strong. 1 and Izet. Ward 1 and haste. 3-3. Sure. Give me a 3-2 cast 3-3 haste any day. Sure. It has more. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +1/+1 at the end of turn. If 5 or more, create a copy of this creature. Wow. Legit. Wait. We have a offline for maintenance. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it, Skyfall. Okay. We have that instant Ashling's command. Oh, we have it under Exhibition Tide Caller. A blue 0/2. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery, target player mills 3 cards. Oh, if 5 or more mana was spent to cast that spell, that player mills 10 cards. Oh. Oh. That's pretty good. If you're like in the mill deck and it says target player, you can target yourself. Amazing. Old Growth Educator. 2 and Wither Bloom. 3 Folk Druid, Vigilance Reach, 4/4. Wow. When this creature enters, put 2+1/+1 counters if you gain life this turn, which is very easy in such a way. Very, very easy in that sense. Very easy to gain 2 life. And it's a tree folk, so any tree folk things in what you call this in Lorwyn benefits. This thing benefits from that. Molten Note, Expel, X and Lorehold. Molten deals damage to target creature equal to the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Untap all creatures you control. Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. So, whoa. Amount of mana spent to cast this. So I can just cast 2. Deal 2 damage or something. Untap all creatures. Good card. Cuboid Connolly. What? Okay, we have increment. Let's talk about increment. Quandrix. Flash. Flying Trample. Wow. 4 abilities on a 2-drop. Are you kidding? And it has flash for some amount of reason. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana you spent is greater than this creature's power, put a +1/+1 counter creature. It's evolve for evolve ba? I'm not sure if evolve is a term. It's evolve for spells. Shit. It's evolve for spells. Pensive Professor, human wizard, 1 blue increment. Whenever 1 or more creatures are put on this creature, counters are put on this creature, draw a card. Thank God they banned Prophet's Delic Memory. My God. I'm sending this to the Prophet player. My gosh. Ay, sorry. My goodness. Ay, what is that? Jeez. The other. This one is also good. Photocast 5 loyalty. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 5 loyalty. Wow. +2, gain 3 life. Relevant. 0, Fraction Arena. Relevant. -3, murder. Destroy target creature. Relevant. When you get an emblem, whenever that you gain that much life, target opponent loses that much life. Win con. Holy shit. Wow. This is a planeswalker. My goodness. Oh yes, the return of the slow lands. Okay, slow lands first came out during Midnight Hunt, yes. The first 5 came out to Midnight Hunt, the next 5 came out on Crimson Vow, and we got the Crimson Vow ones. I have such a thing with these. I'm gonna rant. Why did they give us enemy colors? Like, I don't know. I don't want to question them because they are wizards. They know better than me, sure. But the fact and point that they gave us the enemy lands where we still have the enemy fetch lands currently in standard. We could have helped the allied lands a little bit more, but yeah, they gave us this. For me, I'm happy because I do have these lands. They are in my binder, so I get to get them out of the binder, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I'm just happy that they're giving us non-tapped lands, because I'm looking in the foreseeable future that a good percentage of the UB sets will give us tap lands. The only one that didn't give us that gave us a conditional tap land was the conditional tap land for Final Fantasy was Starting Town. Conditional land untap land for Avatar was those iconic areas that needed a basic to be untapped. So sure, these are fine. It's nice to see, but it's giving Boros and Izet and Jeskai, for that matter, much more leverage, to be honest. Rancor's Arachnid. What are these? 5 to cast 2 trample reach. This creature enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each color of mana spent to it. So the floor is a 5 to cast 3/3. Or no, the floor is a 5 to cast 2/2 if you find a way to reanimate this or whatever. The ceiling is a 5 to cast 7/7. It's common for a reason, guys, but it's a very powered up common. We have Converge. Now, what the heck? I have to write this down. How many freaking mechanics do we have? Prepared, Paradigm, Converge. Let's go back. Flashback has almost become evergreen, to be honest, so I don't know why that's back. Increment, Infusion, Opus, Repartee. And there's this thing Paradigm, yeah. Prepared, yeah. We also have this thing called what you call. We also have this thing called cameo mechanics. So we have Casualty, we have Storm, Affinity, we have Miracle, and Cascade. My goodness, I am counting 13 abilities. 13 abilities that are not evergreen. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Where was I? Okay, we have the commander decks. I'm just gonna shift through. Not my thing. They put replenish back. Oh my god. They put. Goodness gracious. They gave us full art lands again. Sure. Okay, Wisdom of Ages. So this is new. I didn't see that. Return all instant and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. You have no maximum hand size. For 8 mana. Wow. Hardened Academic, Bird Cleric, Flying Haste, 2/1. Okay. Discard a card. This creature gets lifelink until they're okay. Whenever one or more card leave your graveyard, +1/+1 counter. How do you effectively get cards from the graveyard in Boros colors other than flashback? We'll find out. Okay. Reprieve. This is the Mystical Archives. We got Reprieve, a very good uncommon from the Lord of the Rings. Disdainful Stroke, always nice to see. Giant Growth. Sure. If you make a mistake when calculating your spell's output, please use emergency spell trap nets. Okay. Force of Will. Ladies and gentlemen, Force of freaking Will. Why not? Force of Will, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know when was the last time they reprinted this. I don't want to guess because I might be wrong, but good god. Vampiric Tutor. Sure. Smallpox, we have Subterranean Tremors. I don't know where that is from actually. Deals X damage to each player without flying. If it is destroy artifacts. I don't know where that's from. I will check. I can't check because Skyfall is down. Is it down? It's probably down. So I will not. Subterranean. Jesus, I cannot spell. What was that? Subterranean Tremors. Where did this come from? Conspiracy. Wow, coming out from Conspiracy. Cool. Oh, sorry. Watching that. Conspiracy. Oh, shoot. Smallpox. Oh yeah. As usual, we have our Mystical Archives Japanese. Now these are very pretty. These are very beautiful. The last Japanese ones that were really great was the Tainted Pact. The Lightning Helix is still expensive, so of course we have Silver Library as our special guest. So each of the special guests is essentially, the theme there is a teacher teaching students. So we have here some Witherbloom. Okay, we have some of the named characters from Lorwyn. Lorwyn. They're here. Abigail is here. Whenever you cast a creature spell. So right now, I think what they're trying to do is, it's not the Wonderful Adventures of Jace anymore. It's a Wonderful Adventure of these 5 dudes. So from the trailer, it seems that Abigail is actually mute, can't talk. This is a bard. And if you cast a creature spell, becomes prepared. So the prepared is Heroic Stanza, 1 and a Silver Quill. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So it's a repeatable effect. if you keep on casting creatures. This is good in siguro a black-white aristocrats or weenies deck. So +1/+1 counters are always great. We can add this to anything with Valiant, I think. Sure. History buff. One or more, leave your game prepared, mill a card, put 2 counters to target creature. It gives trample. Excuse me, it's already 3 o'clock in the morning. God damn it. I didn't expect to be enjoying this much, so yeah. Well, exchange student. This is an elf, so Golgari elves randomly got a new toy. Enters prepared. Exile a creature card from a graveyard, becomes prepared, activate only as a sorcery. So create 1 black and green pest creature, so it's just a token creator. So it comes in, you can use the ability, you get a token. Exile a creature card from your graveyard, make another token. So not bad. Not bad at all. Sanar, unfinished genius. It's a goblin sorcerer, sure. 0/4 prepared. And it makes a token. Create a treasure token. Activate only if you cast an instant sorcery this turn. Search library for instant or sorcery card, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle. Oh, but it's 5 to cast. Sure. Tam. So this is in the lore. I don't know what is canon or not. Tam is the love child of Jason Raska. Landfall. Whenever land you control enters, becomes prepared. Oh. Draw a card and gain 1 life. Oh. Pretty good. Multiple, like every time you landfall, you get to draw a card, gain 1 life. I honestly think that's strong. This is one of the other ways to make your creatures prepared. Target creature becomes prepared. Sure. Only creatures with prepared spells can become prepared. Sure. Dual tactics. Ping. So it shoots 1 creature for 1 damage. It can block this turn. This is perfect for Izzet Prowess. This is perfect. And flashback is 3 mana and you get 2 prowess triggers. Pretty good. I like it. I'm gonna be getting a lot of this card. Berta, wise explorator. Increment. If you cast a spell with the amount of mana greater than the creature's power, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Sure. When add 1 mana of any color. Hey, shit. Put yeah. What's X? Okay. X is over there. This is a strong card. It's an army in a bottle, so it just sits there. Good. I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. Sitting pretty like a frog. Then end of turn, create Fractorial. Sure. This is strong. This. We already have Hexer, Shushing Hexer, whatever the name of that card is. Expensive fucking card. On the 2 mana slot. It gives value to the deck in a different way than this does. This one, it will 100% be slotted into Izzet Prowess. It cares about instant sorceries. It's a +1 counter and 5 mana, add the amount of mana equal to the creature's power. So impulse draw to your heart's content. You can actually, like, I don't know, it's, you want to be cool about it, you cast the one with the 5 mana spell, flash in, cast an instant, trigger it again, whatever. This face. This. I'm gonna move it over here. This. This is amazing. There are so many things I can talk about. This. I wrong. This. 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 Let me click myself. I cannot stress how much this card is amazing. If you gain life this turn, destroy all creatures instead for 3 mana. 3 mana, ladies and gentlemen. 3 mana. The last time we had something like this was in white. We had Split Up. In black, we had Bonto's Last Reckoning. Jeez Louise. I cannot. This is a card. This is a card that I will hopefully be getting a lot of, because this is a card and a half. Jesus Christ. Okay. Going back to my little me. So, what we have here are the samples of the special guests. So we have creatures, we have spells. No, these are all creatures except one, the Library of Lang, which is an artifact. So Library of Lang reprint, always great to see. Dual Caster Mage, Grim Harrow Specs, Murmuring Mystic, Archmage Imperatus, which came from the last Strixhaven, Archaeomancer, sure. Magus of the Library, Adrix and Nev, Twin Casters, and Cody. People are very excited for Cody and Library. Me, I'm excited for Dual Caster Mage. Never had that card. I have all of the combos parts of it, but I never had that card. And we have the several artworks, sure. Duty Beyond Death from Tarkir Dragonstorm. The Deuce from Murders. Yep, that's it. I was not expecting to talk a little bit more about the card spoiled, but dude, this deck is fire. This set is fire. This deck is so much fire. I don't know why I was wearing headphones the entire day. I had no music playing. This set is fire, hands down. This will be on par with Lorwyn as set of the year. I really truly believe that no one of the Universe Beyond can come close. So it's an easy right now, if I were to rank the sets, Strix, Lorwyn, Mutant Ninja Turtles, hands down. I'm putting Strix above Lorwyn for siguro the simple reason that we have these mystical archive cards. Lorwyn was great. Lorwyn gave me Deceit, which is great. Lorwyn gave me Moon Shadow, which is great. And Lorwyn, the limited environment of Lorwyn is also great. I just can't wait for this set because of all the very amazing removals and the possibility of a money card in almost every pack because of Mystical Archive. I really enjoy sets that give you something to look forward to other than the rare. Yes, Mutant Ninja Turtles gave us something like that, something similar, but this is guaranteed. I don't think the ones in Ninja Turtles was guaranteed. Correct me if I'm wrong. But damn. We have 8 viewers today. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. You guys are amazing. I will be ending the stream because I need to freaking sleep. It's 3 a.m. and I have to go early to the LTO tomorrow. Goodness gracious. Yep. Anyway, this has been Carlo G in the place to be. Top Tech Games, TD Sliced Bread with another edition of Magical Papers featuring Strixhaven. Bye-bye.